Hey, good morning. How is everyone doing? I'd like to take the time and welcome you to another Morning Glory Apostolic Prophetic Center video. I am your host, Dietrich Hubbard. Today we're going to continue our message on when God says no. When God says no, and we're going to be on, what is this? James. We're going to do James chapter 4 because a lot of time what many of us fail to understand that oftentimes when God doesn't give us something that we're praying for or we asking for, it's because we're out of the will of God. And for some reason, many of us don't even know what the will of God is for our life. So what happens to us, we find people or we find these social media influencers or we find excuses for anything that would give us the answers to what we want. But we miss a certain peculiar feeling that we often get in our spirits when we shouldn't do things that we do. But yet, because our flesh is stronger than our spirit, we often overlook the no God given us because we're now consumed to finding a yes to feed our own carnal, fleshly, spiritual wants. So when we go to James chapter 4, what we got to understand what James is teaching, he's teaching a character of living faith. And what I mean by teaching a character, he's teaching in a way that you understand that a lot of times what you're praying for is nothing that benefits your purpose in the kingdom, God's purpose in the kingdom, and the people that are assigned to you that you should bring in the kingdom. James 1 starts off with, where do wars and fightings come from among you? Do they not come from your desires or pleasures that war in your members? You lust and do not have, you murder and covet and cannot attain. You fight and war, yet you do not have because you do not ask. You ask and you do not receive because you ask amiss that you may spend it on your pleasures. See, we take that you don't have because you don't ask, and we take it out of the context of James is trying to teach people that most of your prayers are lustful prayers. Notice that he said do they not come from your desires for pleasures that war in your members? Now, what are your members? Members, your eyes, your hand, your outer appearance, your looks. So, what many of us need to understand, what you're praying and asking God for, you got to understand, does it benefit God? Why you being dressed in the latest name brand clothes, how does that benefit God? You having a wife or you having a husband, how does that benefit God? You having a boyfriend or a girlfriend, how does that benefit God? If you can't answer this question, what it means is you're in lust. Because the Bible teaches us, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things will be added to you. It doesn't say pray for things to come to you. It says when you go in God's kingdom, they will be added to you. But they're only going to be added, God wants to add it. So y'all go find these men, these women, and just because they got money and they look good and this and that, oh, God bless me with a handsome man, a handsome woman. He blessed me with a man of God. How can God bless you with a man of God, you're not a woman of God? How can God bless you with a woman of God, you're not a man of God? How does your relationship benefit the kingdom? So you got to understand 97% of the things that you have obtained is not because God wanted to give them to you, it's because you made it happen. And because you made it happen, that's why you're going through what you're going through. It says you lust and do not have. See, some of y'all women, y'all pick any man that give you attention. Y'all pick any man got a nice car. Any man with a little money, he got a little money in his pocket. You after her. But now your head getting beat from the top to the bottom. You're getting cussed out. You're getting called out your name. He only used you for a trampoline. But see, this key. Write this one down. How for the women, how can you say you got a man of God after God's own heart and he steady belittling you? He's steady talking down on you. He's steadily mentioning your faults and your behaviors, but yet he can't tell you how to correct them. How do you have, see, how is that relationship benefiting the kingdom when it tearing a person that should be of the kingdom is tearing you down? How you a man of God and you say you got a woman of God, but she don't want no man? Explain that to. See, y'all got me confused on this Father's Day holiday y'all just had. Why all y'all talking about Happy Father's Day and you know these men and sisters? You know they like other men. How was that a father? Unless you down low too. So it says you lust and do not have because what you have attained was out of lust and it's not what you want. But guess what? You stay in it now because they still giving you what you want. Yes. Then James said, you murder and covet and cannot attain. See, a lot of y'all, you had what God wanted you to have. But because you didn't understand your prayer, you killed what God gave you to save you. You done killed it. Because you're looking at somebody else's woman, somebody else man, somebody else relationship. I wish my husband did this. I wish my husband did this. Then y'all go pick up that 5 love language book. Well, if this man don't do this, he don't love me. That's coveting you. That's coveting, dumb sheep. That's why he says you cannot attain. Because now you're looking for something because of what you see, because you don't have enough relationship with God to see he's giving you what he wants you to have. See, it ain't got to be no Coke bottle figure for Brother Hubbard. But if that's what he want me to have, that's what he could give me. So now you fighting war. Yet you have not because you ask not. See, y'all allow religion to let you take that phrase and say, well, I'm going to ask God for it. He's telling you and teaching you, you got to understand what you asking for. You fighting war. Well, I'm going to fast till I get a breakthrough. How you know God wanted to answer your breakthrough? Well, I'm going to shut people down till I get my answer. How do you know the answer you want God to give you, he ain't already gave you? So what y'all do, y'all go into these spiritual, religious patterns. And when you come out of it, you think God can answer you because you're going to get what you want. You ask and do not receive because you ask amiss that you may spend it on your pleasure. See, you want a man because you want a man. So you'll take any man that gives you what you lusting for. You want a woman because you want a woman, so you'll take any woman that can be a hot top queen. I was looking, I was mentioning about the man shot the woman because she was pregnant, but they got it wrong. He had two women. He was over the other woman's house that he got pregnant. And the other woman that he got pregnant came over there and was going at it with the other one. So in other words, he was just playing the field. And the other woman shot the other woman. See, I'm telling you women something that's desperate for attention. If you feel in your spirit that a nigga got another woman, you better leave because that could be you. He deep stroking somebody else, deep stroking you, and you know it. But because you ain't listening to God, you stand in a situation that you know you ain't got no business. I can almost guarantee you that other woman that got shot and killed and she was pregnant, I bet she knew he was sleeping with somebody else. See, for you men, these type women don't care. Don't be sleeping with a woman that know you got a woman just because you know you got to get some on the side. Suppose she would have killed both of them. Now she in jail. Her children ain't got nobody. He ain't got a child. But guess what? He gonna move on to the next woman. He gonna move on. So what you got to understand, you got to your desire for companionship because God got you in a season of loneliness. You take whatever gives you what you think you need, going against God's no because you got a yes in your flesh and a no in your spirit. What you do when you got a no in your spirit, but a yes in the flesh? The Bible teaches us the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So here you got a man. He cuss you out. He talk to you in a kind of way. The only reason sometimes he nice to you when he want to trampoline you. You know, you got a woman. The only reason she nice to you when she wants some money. You better learn when you in rotation. Cause see, rotation will get you killed. Cause see, you so lonely, you want to sneak down there and see what he doing because he say he tired and he don't want to talk. See, it ain't your night, you know. It ain't your night. But you want to go on down there because it ain't your night. And she come out of there because it's her night. And she kept telling him, if I see this other bitch, I'm a killer. You better tell these, don't mess with me. Y'all know how y'all Christian folks talk. Y'all know how y'all talk. Don't get religious with me. So now you got the pleasure of the flesh, but you killing your spirit. See, you got to learn when is your season to be in a relationship. You got to learn. Because a lot of us, we in relationships out of season because we don't want to be alone. And we jump from one man to the next. We jump from one woman to the next. And now we got all these spirits in us because we didn't want to take the time and ask God, what you want me to do now? It says, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. See, if you're under the right leadership, they should be making sure that you follow God's words to a T. We're in a season of judgment. You ain't got no time to play around with these word games. And God knows my heart. Watch this. The word enmity means the state of or feeling of being actively opposed or hostile to someone or something. So when y'all change with the culture change, that means you're a friend of the word. That means you hostile to God. See, we got to understand adulterers and adulteresses. Watch this. Notice he's not talking about sleeping with another man or a woman. When you go after things of the world because you want a nice car, you want nice clothes, you want nice jewelry, you want money in your pocket, you are an adulterer. Understand the context in which he's using this. He's not talking about sleeping. So y'all say, well, I'm married. You can be married and still be adulterers and adulteress because you got your man or your woman working so hard to obtain things of the world that you're killing them to get it. You know how many people I've talked to, especially men, that they like to say, my husband make it happen. But do you understand? He don't want to make it happen. It's because he loves his wife that he tries to make it happen. But because most women can't understand that, that's why your relationship, that's why your marriage is gone. Because you want to look like the woman of the world. You better not bring me no bootleg Michael Kors, no bootleg. Because how can you sit back and tell your man, I want a Louis Vuitton purse. If you can't get me that, I don't want nothing at all. Do you understand how selfish that is? But you got bills to pay, credit cards to pay off, and you want to show her that you're thinking about her, but because it ain't what you want, you don't want it, and you wonder why you ain't got no man. See, I tell her where to go and how fast to get there. She watch this. She want two what that Louis Vuitton going up was 25, $2,600. You can get a divorce for 500 and you got change. And you can go somewhere else and buy one of them dumb Brahmin bags. You can what they got now, these them Tom Fords and them done them, you can get you a good 9 West. Y'all stop letting these women force you to live a life of the women of the world. With Ari bought money bag yo's a property. Ari rich. Money bag yo rich. So how is that gold when you ain't even got a third of the money they got? Kevin Hart rich. Steve Harvey rich. They ain't got y'all problem. They wasted money. So a lot of you praying to God to give you something, and you don't know you his enemy. Especially if I done told you no, and you do it anyway, you automatically just put yourself on most wanted. Verse 5 says, do you think that the scripture saying in vain, the spirit that dwelleth in us lusts to envy? James is telling you that we have lustful spirits in us. And these lustful spirits gets us the lust out of things that God doesn't want us to be intertwined with. The problem is we allow our lust to override our spirit. So when God tells us no, we tell ourselves yes. The Bible said God is a jealous God. But you don't care if he's jealous. You want that Maybach. This generation of women is so sad. I was on that darn TikTok again. And this young lady, she started a business, 188 head. And I'm looking at it. And she dead serious. All you if you want some head, call her. And she's sitting there promoting it. You know why she like that? Because ain't no elder women around to teach the younger no more. Ain't no more big mamas. Ain't no more church mamas. See, the ones you got now, because they got that Cialis and that Viagra, all the older women want to be cougars. I'm going to your church. You 70 years old and got blonde hair and you wearing a mini skirt and your legs greens up, your chest all out. The older women want to learn from the younger women. Because y'all do know we skipped a whole generation. When that crack epidemic came, it wiped out a whole generation of morals because women and men, they did anything for that piece of crap. Boy, they giving up BMWs and letting you stay in their houses and boy, why y'all think anal sex became so popular? Because they was doing anything. So when we skipped a generation, That means the young grandmamas y'all got now, they ain't got no hearts. They weren't taught. That's why the men like they are. They lazy. All they want is to screw something and get their child a pair of Jordans and dress alike and they fine. And here you dumb women. I'm looking at that TikTok and Facebook again. Y'all sitting around here dressing your little children, especially these boys, like the men in your hood. Why you won't put them on a suit, a tie? Y'all want throwback jerseys, jewelry, and watches and matching outfits. Set them up to follow because you are friend of the world. Y'all look good now. Don't get me wrong. You look good, but it's flesh. Flesh always makes something look good. Verse 6 says, but he gives more grace. Wherefore he said, God resists the proud, but give grace unto the humble. Submit yourself therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, you double minded. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned into mourning and your joy to heaven. Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. That means it's a standard of conduct that we have to live by before God even begins to bless us. You can't promote God 2 days after week and showing your ass 4 days after week. The Bible said, let not your good be evil spoken. You all God when it's all God, but you all flesh when it's all flesh. But now we want to twist and add God in it. Y'all religious church folk, don't you judge me. Y'all just jealous of me. No, you prideful. You're prideful. That's why God is turning many of you over to a reprobated mind because God resists the proud. I mean, come on. Some of y'all prayers ain't being answered. They look at you and tell you. You see what you asked for and know God ain't gonna give it to you because you lusted. You got to understand anything that you ask God for, it has to have a purpose in the kingdom, not just for you. That's why when that girl gave me that first that fake prophecy down in Birmingham, I didn't I didn't receive it. I didn't want no house, no 4 bedroom, whatever that heathen said for me and my family. That ain't that ain't doing that for the kingdom. God know I want property. He know I want old hotels and old schools. So because of the kingdom and how many kingdom people I see in homeless, I can always have room for them. But if I got that, I ain't got enough room with 4 bedrooms. But see, I ain't had the heart to tell her she was wrong because she was so full of herself. But you know what? This year, anybody say something to I'm standing flat footed. You're wrong. See, that's why it comes to having a relationship with God. And you're not lusting after things that don't have no value in the kingdom. See, y'all get happy. I see a house. I see your son coming out. I see your daughter coming out. God gonna hear it. Y'all do know God tells you what he gonna do for you before he get to a prophet to tell you how he gonna do. But because you don't have a relationship with God, when you hear it, it's a surprise to you. It ain't let nobody say a surprise to me. The only thing surprise me when you tell me something that don't benefit the kingdom. Kingdom mindset. See, what good is a woman in Brother Hubbard life if they ain't benefit the kingdom? What good is see, what good is a man in your life if he ain't benefiting the kingdom? You know why? Because now you killing your witness. You all God, but he got them legs all up in there. It's strange for a woman to say they all God and they have a man that they consider man of God, but the man ain't out there with you when you doing the work of the Lord, but they with you when they doing the work of the flesh, trampolining you. Who is that man for you when the only reason they're around you and show up when it's time to have sex? Women too. I ain't leaving y'all out. If that's the only concern that they really show feelings, you got the wrong one. Because see, God should mean just as much to them as he means to you. So we can't see what's really for us because we too caught up in what we want. How do you draw near to God? Well, first you got to resist the devil. I told y'all a couple of months ago, maybe a month. I said, every prophecy you got, I said, God told me to tell you to get rid of it. Did I not say that? Because a lot of you got so many false prophetic words in your spirit that it's damaging your health. And you going to the doctor trying to get all this stuff to save you, and all you got to do is get rid of that filth they put in your spirit. Speak not evil one of another, brethren. He that speaketh evil of his brother and judges his brother speak evil of the law and judges the law. But if thou judge the law, thou art not a doer of the law, but the judge. There is one lawgiver who is able to save and destroy. Who art thou that judges another? Go to now, ye that say today or tomorrow we'll go into such a city and continue there a year and buy and sell and get gain. Whereas you know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes your way. See, y'all giving God time frames on when to give you something. So you giving time frame to people on when you want something to happen. But you do understand you're resisting who God is because you giving a God ultimatums. Do you know you can marry the man or woman of your dream. God will answer your prayer, but you do know they can die the same day. To all that so you can know he God. What a sad way to get what you pray for, only for it to be gone when you get it. See, y'all, I taught y'all this a year ago. Stop saying, I'm going to do this tomorrow. You got to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do this. Y'all taking the Lord for granted. You're taking the Lord for granted. And we in a season that you can't take nothing that's of God for granted. Because for you to do so, you killing your own life, not his.